Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the twitch.tv/Steven Larson. I feel bad now having to, tell her to stop using whatever crazy tool it was because she just got me this the other day. Look at this. Number one dad.
Oh. Number one.
Number one. And then you got to get one that says world's best dad.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Oh, man. Anyways, yeah, we are Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can listen to. We're going to be talking about some Monday Night Raw. A couple of big returns. Last night we had Asuka. We had Mustafa Ali. We know who Mustafa Ali's first feud seemingly is going to be with. And we had, of course, Randy Orton's 20th anniversary celebration. We'll have a lot of thoughts on all of that. But forced this weekend, we've got Triplea's Triplemania. Oh, it's so exciting. So exciting.
Oh, it's going to come down the wire with the predictions for this month. I did the best I could. I got a pretty damn good lead heading into the final event. Final event's Triplemania, though. Kind of anything goes.
I'll be honest. It's sort of like straightaway. Like I don't want that lead. Before Triplemania, man, I don't want that lead. I've resigned to basically losing, and I'm fine with that. And so I've got no pressure whatsoever. And so I'm just going to be doling out these picks. Like I might start picking out of a hat like Enforcer did. That'd be
wildly entertaining. I think you should do that.
And it wouldn't shock me if I came through.
It could pan out. It could totally pan out. 14
Anything
points
goes.
Is not much of a lead for a show like Triplemania.
Anything goes.
Indeed.
Anything goes.
Indeed.
So that's very exciting. Join us for that this Saturday, probably like at 5 or so.
It starts. I think it starts at 6. The Fight TV broadcast starts at 6, I believe.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Triple A, so like. Maybe if they say it starts at 6, that's a ballpark.
Yeah.
That's a ballpark figure.
Yeah.
So
truly is.
Anyways, listen, chat's cracking me up right now. Let's talk about this real quick. Woo! Some shade being thrown across promotions. So for Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch.
Oh, I should say former Raw Women's Champion. Man, I didn't sleep good last night. Typos galore. I'm telling you today's notes.
I am so Ron Burgundy. It's okay, man. You write it, I'll read it. Former Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, who also came back to Raw last night, recently appeared on 102.5 The Bones, Drew Garabo Live. Where is this out of?
So it's, I don't know where 102.5 The Bone is, but it's a radio show. And I guess they take the interviews from the radio show and upload it like on a podcast app. So it's
okay, cool.
It's Drew Garabo Live featured cut of the day is what
featured
the show
cut of the day called. Sponsored by Sizzler.
Yes, I don't know about the Sizzler sponsorship. I don't want to misrepresent their sponsors, but
it was a joke. Okay, I'll say that was a joke. Cut of the day. I hope they're sponsored by a steakhouse.
Yeah, some sort of meat product. That'd be ideal. Yeah,
some would be nice. Anyway, she was asked about whether. I love this, man. This is why we don't interview people, because we don't have good questions like this. You immediately throw if you interview WWE somebody, you just throw them an AEW question.
Well, this is what he did. So I paraphrase here, but this is what he did. He because I listened to it.
Yeah,
and he more or less said, there's other wrestling promotions out there. Do you pay attention to the women's divisions there, or do you kind of pay them no mind, or do you kind of, are you aware of what's going on, as he says, across the street?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's
and
good.
What they're doing. So he didn't mention the letters AEW at all.
Okay. Well, apparently, according to your notes here, Big Time Bex did not mince words in her response to this cryptic question. These transcripts come to you via our friends over at Fightful. She said this regarding the women. I don't think they are represented the way we are. They don't get as much time as we get. And frankly, they're not as good as we are. We have, certainly on Raw, we have the best women's division in the world. I say that without any hesitation in my voice. We have the best women's division in the world. Competition is great, and it's great for there to be another place. And I have a very good friend, Ruby Soho, over there, and I would love to see her as champion one day. I would love to see her get the spotlight she deserves. Competition is always great. Over here, we're on another level. So yeah, it's kind of easy to take shots at it. Tony Khan has made it easy for people to take shots at the women's division because he does not devote enough time over there. It's a valid criticism.
It is 1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Because even when, like last night on Raw, there was one women's match. But I read on Twitter, and I kind of recounting in my mind, I think it's accurate, there were 10 women featured on the show across various segments. On SmackDown, I don't believe there was a women's match this past Friday. But there were multiple segments highlighting stories in the women's division. And that's one thing WWE will do. They have more than one story, generally speaking, going on in the respective women's divisions on Raw and SmackDown. AEW, that's still something they're struggling to pull off on a consistent basis.
They're actively not. They're not. It's not like they're trying and they're struggling. I memean, he's had time. He literally said 2 weeks ago that like he came up with his outline for one of his favorite shows and it featured a single 2.5 minute women's match. Like he's there. They're not interested in that. He's interested in telling like several stories across all his programming, and that gets like one match per episode of Dynamite, one episode per one match per episode of Rampage.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
So I don't know. I mean, she's asked a question and I don't think there's anything, you can call it shade. You can could it have been maybe more diplomatic? Maybe, but she's pushing her own company. I think that's what you want.
And this whole interview was in and out of character too.
I didn't mean to talk shit to you, by the way.
No, I know.
I wasn't checking your ass.
No, I know.
I mean, yeah, I just mean that like because I don't want people to get it mixed up. Like, like a year ago we were talking about when is the women's division going to get better, and so many excuses were thrown around by people including myself. We're in the middle of a pandemic. They're not doing what they want to do, but it's like you got the time, you've got talent.
Yeah.
I mean, one reason why you can accurately say why the Raw women's division is at least better than AEW is because AEW doesn't give time to theirs. And so a lot of them you just don't see. And they don't have time to develop. They don't do house shows. They don't have time to get those reps in. I mean, maybe they get them on Dark and Elevation.
Yeah,
that's what that
I guess in
show's
theory,
for.
that's probably where it happens, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
One company that consistently also does really good work, the women's division, Impact.
Impact does a killer job.
Fantastic job.
Scott, I'm telling you, I've been singing Scott D'Amore's praises for a little while now because I'm sort of like, wrapping my head around, okay, well, what's Tony Khan doing? Like what is going on over there? There's a lot to like about AEW. There's a lot to like about it. There are things that it becomes clear that he's just not interested in. And one of them seems to be women's wrestling. And so he pays some amount of service to it to sort of, remain legitimate, because you need to have a women's division in North America if you want to be a legitimate promotion, on TV especially. But Impact does a killer job.
Yeah,
does an absolutely killer. Yeah. They do a killer job with their women. They do a killer job across the board with 2 hours of TV every week. They focus on the women's division, the women's tag division, their tag division, and 2 men's divisions, singles. And they fit it all in there.
Yeah, they do. They prioritize all of it. That's why.
Yeah. Who does have the best in America? Who's got the best women's division? I mean, I think the way it's treated, maybe it's Impact. I mean, WWE just has so much talent.
Yeah, I think in terms of the actual talent level, you got to say WWE. But in terms of consistent booking, I would probably give the nod to Impact.
Yeah. The actual creative and the booking is really well done in Impact.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, Michael Soto up here in chat brings up, remember that awful Queen of the Ring tournament? That's a situation where it really came off like WWE was doing that out of like an obligation.
Yeah. There was a stretch,
that was
like 6-8 months ago where the booking of the women's division was not that great. And it's gotten better since then. It seems to be like we see with Raw and SmackDown. When Raw is good, SmackDown kind of isn't. when they focus on something, it seems like they put a lot of focus into that thing, and other things kind of fall on the wayside, but then they come back around to it. That's just kind of how seemingly WWE works.
Yeah, Maggie brings up here in chat the Impact booking of Jordan Grace. I think that's that's terrific. How she just sort of does whatever she wants in whatever division she wants to do it in.
Exactly.
Which is terrific.
And it's awesome.
And also they do something that I wish everybody else would do, and that's do the same thing they do with the women that they do traditionally with the men across wrestling, and that's the older you get, the better you are. Mickie James was champion, and she was a pretty dominant one for a spell there.
Yep.
And I thought that was awesome. I think WWE really needs to, they've got like Lita, and I don't know how much money Trish would want to come back, if she even would want to, because she's got like, I don't know.
I mean, she did kind of tease a match with Sasha, I thought, on social media. I thought it was Sasha.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good, man. I'd love to see AEW improve their situation.
Definitely,
with the
definitely. There's
division.
still a lot of there's a lot of room for improvement, and hopefully we see that improvement.
They got a lot of good stuff going over there.
They do, and they got a lot of great talent in the women's division. It'd be great to see them on TV on a more regular basis. That's for sure.
Yup.
Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, Blenders Eyewear. Fresh from the sandy beaches of San Diego, California, comes my new favorite sunglasses brand. I'm talking about Blenders Eyewear. Steve, check out these Ice Crush shades.
Whoa, those look really cool, man.
They are cool. I got to wear on my morning walks or I'm out running errands. They fit great, and they look even better.
Man, I got myself a pair of Stone Breakers.
Whoa.
Look at these guys, man. These are pretty cool, too. Anyways, listen, man. Blenders founder Chase Fisher started the company to create adventurous, mid-priced eyewear, and Blenders' team of in-house designers continue that philosophy by coming up with new styles, like orange polarized wraparounds, think like Bret Hart sunglasses, but orange, and tortoise shell frames with purple lenses.
Yeah, and unlike expensive big brand shades, Blenders are affordable while still offering the same cool factor as other leading styles. And Blenders has more than sunglasses. They also have prescription glasses, readers, and blue lights, as well as a snow collection with goggles and accessories. So live life in forward motion with Blenders today.
To score 15% off your Blenders purchase, visit blenderseyewear.com and enter promo code RAWVIP. That's blenderseyewear.com, code RAWVIP for 15% off. Blenders, rocked with pride worldwide. And before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Upside. I got to tell you, Larson, every time I'm out getting gas or grabbing some food at a restaurant, I'm noticing that everything is more expensive. This inflation is really hitting me where it hurts.
Yeah, I hear you, Steve, which is why I started using Upside and buying gas or dining out, because Upside gives me cash back on those purchases. I bought everything from gas to burritos, and gotten cash put back in my pocket to buy more burritos. It's great. It's really great.
Man. Yeah, that is great. And it's easy. Upside is easy. Just download the app from the App Store or Google Play, claim an offer on whatever you're buying, check in, pay as you normally would with a debit or credit card, and bang, you get paid. You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands.
And you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside in comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs. So download the free Upside app and use promo code RAW to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code RAW.
So yeah, man, couple big moments here on Raw that I mentioned in the intro. Asuka returned. Mustafa Ali returned. It was great to see him back. Ciampa. Oh, did they get rid of his first name?
They did.
Oh, wow.
He's the Ciampa now because Tommaso's his real first name. So that was going to happen if that edict from Vince is true, that he doesn't want anybody using their real names, period.
Anything they can use on the outside.
Yeah. Since his real first name is Tommaso, then.
Was it just commentary yelling his name?
Well, they said, there's Ciampa when he attacks Ali, and then I think it was Fightful that confirmed that internally he is just Ciampa from here on out.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't mind that so much. It's if he'd shown up and it was like I don't know, give me a couple names out of a hat. If it was Adam Becklin.
Adam Becklin.
Got these earplugs from Becklin.
Oh, all right. Gotcha.
And I got Adam Pacitti on my
Oh, there you go.
There's Adam Becklin.
Adam Becklin.
Yeah. Champ is fine. That's his name. So, or it's his, that's his name. So that's cool.
That's his work name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't he? He was champ on the before WWE though.
Yeah, he was. As far as I know, like as long as he's been prominent on the independent scene, he's been Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But I imagine it's one of those things where he's so known in NXT. He's such a huge part of NXT as Tommaso Ciampa. That would be kind of a tough one to if you want to establish any sort of consistency or through line from NXT to the main roster.
It is kind of interesting, though. I mean, this is a silly conversation to have again, but it is kind of interesting. Like, he can use Ciampa outside of WWE. So why wouldn't that fall under the edict? I mean, yeah, it could be what you just said.
Yeah.
He has such a long legacy in NXT, but Vince doesn't seem like he would give a shit about that.
You wouldn't think so. At the same time,
I mean, look at Walter's legacy in UK.
Yeah, I know. Vince for sure doesn't give a shit about that. I mean, Ciampa was just champ in 2.0.
Yeah.
At the reset. So that might be part of it too. I don't know. I mean, it's all up to the whims of Vince, and he seems like he changes his mind on a regular basis. So maybe they can change Walter's name back to Walter. Who knows? I would bet on it.
Yeah. Speaking of Ciampa, he looks to be the first guy to have a feud with Mustafa Ali. You got to wonder if that was part of the way they convinced Ali to come back. Who had a part in this? Who said, "Hey, Ciampa, that's a good 3 months right there for him and Ali to have a bunch of matches, assuming it's going to last that long."
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then yesterday we were talking about the reports about all the heel changes and the heel turns. Well, Ciampa heel turn on Mustafa Ali, so that's good.
So Fightful Select Justice. I don't want to. They just did put this out, so I don't want to get. No,
we're deep into the Raw review. What's up?
Oh, the Fightful Select has had a thing about details about Ali's return.
Oh, okay. Well, what a great segue. We'll do this. We'll give him a shout out. Sean doesn't care. Fightful Select. Go subscribe. They're terrific because Larson's about to read some of the stuff from there.
So it says last week there were some ideas for him to bring him back. It says as of Sunday, the plan was for him to face The Miz but lose that match. Obviously, that changed. Apparently, he met with Johnny Ace Monday. At that point, he wasn't informed of any creative for his potential return. That's kind of it.
Okay. With wrestling, you always think there's going to be some complicated story. And it's probably just a matter of, hey, we got something for you. Does this interest you? Yeah, sure, I'll come back for that. Him and Ciampa can have some killer matches.
Well, I mean, according to that, like Ali knew nothing of potential creative upon showing up at the building on Monday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Ali, you want to wrestle? Sure. He's been watching Raw lately. He's like, yeah, they've been pretty good lately.
Or it's been like, yeah, I guess so.
He's like, what are they doing in the 24/7 scene? Okay, that's locked down. See, that 24/7 kind of seems a little locked down these days with their set 24/7
You have
story.
the 24/7 players, yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And that seems to be set for the time being.
Like, come on, just come back and wrestle. Okay, I'll come back and wrestle.
And that's it. Maybe he just missed wrestling and wanted to do it again. And he's got 2 years on his contract, so if wants to wrestle more, he has to do it with WWE.
I want to bring this up before we go into some of the negatives about the show last night, because I thought by and large, I thought it was a pretty decent show. I thought there was a lot to like, and there was plenty to sort of get bored by too. But if you want to book a strong babyface, which oftentimes wrestling companies across the board sometimes have a hard time doing, Bianca Belair and Sonya Deville, I think it's a killer. I think it's a really good way to book a babyface. Because Sonya Deville, she's got that dual role of like authority figure, which has been done a million times over, but she's so good.
Yeah, she's good at it. She's good
and the whole like power mad, person who, mid match, she'll like, well, no, we're not a new timeout count outs, and then this is a no DQ match now.
There's one detail that I guess one could quibble with. It's a point that she makes. When I have my jacket on, I'm your boss. When I have jacket
Yeah,
off,
you can
I'm a
talk
competitor.
better, yeah.
If she's out there wrestling without jacket on, she should have no basis on which to change the rules of the match.
Would that be? Are you being jokey right now? Or are you
Somewhat,
being serious?
somewhat. But I mean,
Okay,
that's the delineation that she makes, that creative makes for her on the show.
Yeah.
That seemingly only applies backstage.
So I mean, it could be argued that she's even abandoned that one basic line of logic because she's gone power mad, you know?
She has, except for instances where someone might try to like hit her backstage.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like when Naomi came in and was on the verge of like punching her or something because she was so upset with what Sonya was doing. She's like, no, I can't do that. I got my jacket on.
Well, this week, Zelina and Carmella couldn't even fight back. They were being attacked by her backstage. Mm-hmm. And she didn't care about no jacket. She slapped him and said, "You touch me, I'm an official."
Yeah.
Because it's great, like her power madness.
Yeah, and
is growing.
listen, from her perspective, I get all that, but at some point, wouldn't like the timekeeper be like, "Hold on, you said if you got no jacket on, then you're not my boss, so I'm not going to listen to you."
You think timekeeper wants to get fired like that? Look at what she's doing.
I'm just trying to. I'm just saying there's story potential there where she could try to abuse her power, and people are like, "No."
Oh man, then they get fired. I mean, it sort of defeats the purpose of being an authority figure. People are going to stand up to you, though. You know.
Well, certain.
I mean,
points,
Pierce. The point is, Pierce ain't doing shit.
Yeah, which is weird too.
Kinda, but at the same time, it's like, look, the higher ups know what's going on. If Vince wants to deal with this, he'll deal with it. You know.
At a certain point, you think, okay, this is a headache for me, for Pierce.
Yeah.
I need to do something about this, you know?
Yeah. I like it. I think it's pretty solid stuff. I liked her check. Man, she slapped the shit out of Zelina and Carmella backstage.
Too. Holy shit.
I really like that stuff. And I just like that the odds are stacked against Bianca, and they're doing the authority stuff in a way that, just by virtue of the performance of Sonya Deville, is resonating with me anyways. And I think it's helping Bianca get even more over. So I like that stuff. I like the and then Asuka came back. I mean, who knows? It's going to be, you know, she gave Becky a flick on the nose. So that's going to be the thing. Do you think Becky is going to suffer? I mean, she's got to eat a loss to Asuka off the bat.
I believe, historically speaking, Asuka's had her number. And
Becky has said, "Hey, I'm already at rock bottom.
No, she's not
all I can go is up." If you're saying you're at rock
you're
bottom,
not at rock bottom yet.
You can't have a positive outlook if you're actually at rock bottom.
No, I would expect Asuka to get a win or two in here on Becky. And it's some good symmetry here. Of course, Asuka was who got the title when Becky had to vacate it. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you have Asuka come back to face Becky, her first feud after losing the belt that she hadn't lost in 3 years.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I mean, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
And yeah, that part was good. Not so good. This Edge stuff, man. What the hell?
Yeah, dude. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
I mean, I don't want to be a broken record like he is, because he literally started his promo last night with the phrase, "It bears repeating," and proceeded to repeat basically everything he said last week, which is pretty much, we're better than everybody.
But also kind of worse.
Yeah, he did it again, but worse, yes.
He did it again, but worse. Because this was kind of, I was like, okay. Last week I was like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, it's a bit lowbrow to be talking shit about sports teams when you're supposed to be the supernatural guy.
Exactly.
But it got even worse.
I know.
It got even worse. His insults were so
pedestrian,
middle class.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all your crappy sports teams.
Oh, I know. Look at you eating cheeseburgers and potato chips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, come on. Again, like, since this started, this was classic heel mic work with some fancy language attached to it. But once you strip away the fancy language, it's just basic heel mic work.
Yeah, right.
You just talk crap about the fans, and that's it. And you can doll it up in some nice vocabulary and purple lights, in a throne that's being pulled by a couple of stagehands.
Wait, is there a picture of that out
Yeah,
there?
one of the Friendos put a picture up. that was sitting there ringside. Let me get the name. It's Kevin Albritton. And the second picture here is when he stands up, and you can see the two pieces of rope attached to the platform the throne's on. It's sort of like King Woods when he had his throne. There was just a couple people that were pulling it down the ramp.
Oh, okay. No, I did say
it's not motorized.
That picture is hilarious. Yeah, shout out to Kevin because that picture is. I'll retweet it right now from Matt Real going in Raw.
So
it is hilarious because they're sitting there and Edge is like doing his, and it's so silly. But yeah, you're right. I did not notice the little cables there.
People are just pulling it down the stage. And the same thing when Woods had his throne thing. Just people were pulling it down the stage because one time they were pulling it and one person was going a little faster than the other and it started to turn a little bit.
For Woods, that's hilarious because he's sort of a comedy guy anyways.
Yeah.
But it's so like the slow moving. Enforcer here in the chat called it his Rose Parade float.
Yeah.
It's so goofy.
It is. Nothing about this is intimidating. Even when they try to do the supernatural stuff, it's corny. Nothing about this is intimidating. I don't fear them.
It's Hot Topic. It's Party City. Yeah.
It is. I don't worry about talents feuding with them because this is corny. There's nothing intimidating or frightening or menacing about any of it. It's corny.
There was a time when he first debuted this thing. I was like, okay, cool. I could see him being sort of a new leader of a ministry type thing. Even Undertaker wasn't terribly intimidating with his goth look back then. But like I could see Edge in the suit. It's like, oh, they're dolling him up. If Roman drops that, the Raw title, I could see Edge being at this point. No, it's so goofy. And when I look at Priest, I honestly think one thing: you're there to eat pins. That's what you're there for.
He didn't.
I know, but when it's AJ and Finn, when it's the Bullet Club versus Edge and Priest is going to be eating a lot of pins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only kind of silver lining in this potential thing is that we'll get maybe. I mean, it's entirely possible WWE will tease this and then just not follow through on it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get a team up with AJ and Finn.
Yeah,
but
all sorts of two sweets and
shit. This Edge thing, at least for me, just is not working. I mean, I can't really, apart from that, pinpoint anything else on Raw that was particularly bad. It just felt talky, and I don't want to go into this too much because I've made it well known. I like my wrestling programming with wrestling on it. If it's really talky, it feels like, in my estimation, it drags. It's just wrestling TV for me and how I prefer it. And, I saw a lot of people on social media saying they really enjoyed Raw. Again, I can't really necessarily say anything in there apart from the Edge stuff that I found off-putting. It just felt slow to me because there was so much talking.
I don't mind. See, I prefer my wrestling too, but I actually like talking segments when they're done right and they're entertaining. I can point to, because there was the Edge thing which lasted forever, and the other thing which was in the same was it in the same half hour? It was, where was that?
You talking about the MVP's promo before the arm wrestling match?
No, but that's a good point too. No, I was talking about Miz TV. Miz TV.
Yeah.
There was a period when the build to WrestleMania, some of the Miz TVs are actually pretty entertaining. They were relatively short. They kept on. I'm thinking of like the Logan Paul, Jerry Lawler one.
Let me back up a bit. I don't mind talking. I just want efficiency when it comes to promo and talking segments. When you have Miz TV go on for 5 minutes just to motivate a match, it's too much. And same for the Edge stuff, especially when he comes out for 5 minutes and just says the same thing he did a week before. I understand Raw is 3 hours and they need to fill time. I get that.
You could fill that with wrestling.
Exactly.
The Miz TV Austin Theory stuff, that was an example of Miz TV not done well. And granted, once Ali came out, some of the stuff was okay, like Theory setting up the match, and not understanding. I like that little bit right there. But and like Ali's line about Miz's wrestling, I thought was pretty good. But beyond that, it was so 2K20 my career. It added nothing to it. Miz and Theory talking about, oh yeah, you remind me of me. It was not interesting at all. And that kind of stuff right there drives me nuts. I don't want any part of that.
Exactly. I can do with it. Like the opening segment with Randy celebrating his 20th anniversary, that was good because it felt like Randy was showing some real genuine appreciation to the people he's worked with, to the fans. It all felt very genuine.
All that stuff, the bookends, the main event and the opening was I thought really solid because all the talent in there and all the stories that are going on between Kevin Owens and Ezekiel, Cody Rhodes and his just inherent history with Randy Orton. He didn't have to say anything. Seth Rollins getting involved. All that stuff works really well because they're all stories that are sort of intertwining. And that's why I think the opening and then the main event worked really well. And yeah, there were some talky bits, but overall I thought Raw was still on a pretty decent roll.
Yeah, probably a step down from I would think last week, but compared to where it was several months ago, it's at least they got some decent stories going on there. We can jump right into it. Opened up with Randall Keith Orton's 20th anniversary celebration. So you have pretty much the entirety of the locker room surrounding the ring. Seth Rollins taking a seat over by commentary. Riddle's in there. He's kind of hosting it. He throws to a video package. It's a retrospective of Randy's career. Come back. Riddle introduces Randy. Orton comes to the ring, says to Riddle, I appreciate you. He says Knoxville is where he was born, so it's pretty cool they're doing this here. He says it's been a hell of a journey, some ups and downs. He says, but I hope the fans aren't getting sick of me because I'm not going anywhere. 20 years flew by in a flash. I forged a lot of relationships, had a lot of killer matches with some badass men like Cena, Triple H, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Foley. He says it wasn't because of Foley he wouldn't become the legend killer. It's because of Mick Foley that he's here right now. He says same goes for Triple H and Ric Flair. He says, but there's one thing that's different these days. He is having more fun right now than he has had ever in his entire career, and that's because Riddle gives him a hug, says, I love you.
I love you.
And he says, I'm going to let the fans know that, hey, we've had our ups and downs too, but if it wasn't for them, there would be no legend killer, no apex predator, no Randy Orton. So Riddle says, hey, I got a surprise for you. This man wanted to come to the ring. Says that Randy was a mentor to him. He looks up to Randy as a locker room leader. He says they're friends. It's Cody. Cody comes to the ring. Gives Randy a huge hug. Seth pipes in. Says, ha! Isn't this cute? He says, Randy, don't trust Cody. He's only out there to steal your spotlight. Just like he tried to steal mine at WrestleMania. He says, Cody, I want to let you in on a secret. Not everything is about you. Tonight is about Randy Orton. I'm dressed in my finest suit, and it's like the brightest green possible.
It's super green.
It's got a white stripe down the side. It looked like a Spirit Squad gear.
Right, yeah.
He said, I dressed in my finest suit for the occasion to celebrate Randy. 20 years, that's in the past. Randy's best years are behind him. Randy is the past. He's not the present or the future. Neither are you, Cody. The next generation of WWE superstars are going to be inspired by me. Not you, and not you, bro. And so then Ezekiel interrupts.
Yeah, and he says, as one of the newer superstars around here, now would be a great time to say congratulations and to introduce myself. He does, and he shakes Randy's hand, and he says, I'll never forget Randy dominating as a legend killer. He talks about being a little kid with his older brother watching Randy Orton. So Kevin Owens, of course, comes out. He interrupts Zeke. He says, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. You talk like Elias. You sound like Elias. That's because you are Elias. And he says, he asks Randy, are you going to let Zeke lie to you? He calls Zeke a disgusting piece of trash. And he says, you may have passed a lie detector test, but you're going to figure out how I did. I'm the only one still sane around here. And he's like, hit himself in the head when he does that. Yeah. So then the Usos come out, and Jay says, we were 15 watching Orton get your start, get your start. And Jimmy asks Jay, he says, you have a favorite Orton moment? Jay says his favorite moment is beating RK Bro in Backlash and unifying the tag titles. Got a little bit of Nostradamus
some prognostication
going on there.
Prognostication,
that's what
Quatrain. He should have said it in the Quatrain.
Yeah, well, so Pierce comes out. He says, you guys made this easy for me. He said, in commemoration of Randy Orton's anniversary, all you guys are going to fight each other. Good guys versus bad guys. So you got Seth KO, the Usos versus Cody, Ezekiel, and RK Bro. And then a big brawl breaks out after Kevin Owens punches Zeke, and Orton drops him with an RKO.
Yeah. Brandon Thurston has our Raw ratings. 1.613.
Whoa.
And then
what was going on last night?
I'm sure there's playoffs. Yeah, there's playoffs, NBA playoffs last night.
Yeah, 1.6, dude.
And then a 0.44.
Pre-pandemic, they were like at around the SmackDown numbers now. Like they're like always trying to get to that 2.
Yeah.
And that shit has not come back. Like during pandemic, it was like 1.2 1.7. They have not come back.
No. I mean, obviously they went up a bit around WrestleMania season because it's WrestleMania season.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I mean, you look at our numbers. The last couple of weeks, Raw ratings have been down. I feel like the general interest level in wrestling, again, post-Mania is not what it was before WrestleMania or leading up to WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, no. And the build is always more
it generates more
thing.
interest. People tune in. Mania happens. People kind of check out for a while until something else generates some interest.
Yeah, but I didn't even think in the build of WrestleMania they didn't hit over 2 on Raw.
They got close. I think they got 1.8.
They get to 1.9. I think they got to
1.8.
like 1.8, but
even SmackDown was under 2 million on Friday.
My goodness gracious.
That's been a while since that happened.
Too much stuff out there, man.
There is too much stuff. Speaking of which, you see that Barry is back for a new season.
I did. We're gonna watch the new episode tonight. I'm
Same.
excited about that.
Same.
There's so much that we have to watch. Like I got like I think 3 episodes left of The Wire, which it's not a good season. They ended. They did not end well. There's like the storyline. Season 5 is totally jumps the shark, dude.
Oh dear.
Anyways, backstage, failed mayor Glenn Jacobs here is chatting with Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
And we get Sonya Deville versus Bianca Belair. So as I had mentioned early on, this just features a lot of Sonya Deville abusing the shit out of her power.
Oh, yes.
At one point, Sonya tries to use Bianca's hair. Bianca uses the hair to throw her over the announce table. Sonya's counted out at that point. And then she's like, no, nope, sorry, nope. Give me the mic.
Yeah.
Says, we're restarting this match. No countouts.
So this is she did this type of stuff during her feud with Naomi too.
Mm-hmm, yeah, she did. Yeah, this is sort of par for the course. But now stakes are higher. We have a title. Oh, so after that was actually the braid bit where Bianca flings her over to the timekeeper area, not the earlier one.
Yeah.
So then Sonya gets a chair, hits Bianca with it. So of course she's DQ'd. She says, nope, restarting this match. Now with no count out, no DQ as well. So Sonya waves out Carmella and Zelina Vega as Raw rolls on. Bianca fights off Carmella as we're coming back from commercial, hits Sonya with a spine buster. Zelina hops on her back, allows Sonya to get some shots in. Bianca's able to fight them off, looks for a glam slam, but Sonya's able to counter that, sends Bianca into the corner, puts a chair in the middle of the ring, hits a DDT on it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of, whoa, crap, that's got to be it, right? Nope, Bianca kicks out. Mm-hmm. Zelina wedges the chair in the corner. Bianca sends Sonya into it, fights off Vega and Carmella, and then hits KOD on Sonya for the win. I thought it was a well-booked match for the story. I thought it was pretty good stuff. But I also shout out to your notes because, I just ran down that entire match successfully on your notes. So you know what? Give yourself some credit, man. There you go. Pat on the back.
So then we got Edge and Damian Priest is lurking backstage. Not really up to much. That wouldn't change much later on when Edge was doing his promo. And then we get Carmella and Zelina arguing backstage about dropping the ball, not helping Sonya get the win, but also going further back. This team's been a mess for a while. So Sonya steps in and says, you had one job. One job. You didn't get me the Raw Women's title tonight, so now no title shot for you. So apparently she promised them probably a tag title opportunity. And Zelina says, but you promised. You went back on your word. Bang. Smack.
Whoop-ha.
Sonya slaps her. Yes, thank you. So Carmella's about to slap Sonya, puts the brakes on. And Sonya says, you shouldn't do that. I'm still your boss. And then she slaps the hell out of Carmella. Holy wow.
Yeah, dude. Those were loud, man.
Yeah.
Those were super loud. Yeah, Sonya's intensity, man. Oh my God. It's you can take a tried and true convention, the abuse of power by an authority figure. You get the right performer and the right commitment there, you can get some good stuff out of it. Still.
You can. Yeah, Sonya's been doing great work since she's come back. I mean, even before that.
All right.
For a long time. I'm not going to go beat by beat to this interview, this promo.
Yeah,
because
I got a challenge
pointless.
for you.
All right.
You got an Edge promo.
Yeah.
Give me 4 sentences.
4 sentences. All right, keep track. So this is not the first sentence. Bear in mind, again, he says it bears repeating to start this thing. So you know you're getting a lot of redundancy from what you saw last week. So this is pretty much what it was. They're better than your favorites. While they're sitting at their mountain of omnipotence, anybody tries to get close, including AJ Styles and Finn Balor, guess what? You're getting knocked down to the bottom.
Good. That's one sentence. Honestly, I think you just summed the entire thing up in that one sentence. But it took him like 12 minutes.
Because he starts talking about disgraced mayor Glenn Jacobs. He starts talking about Tennessee volunteers, about people hop in their Pintos and drive the poll to support the current mayor of Knox County. People eating cheeseburgers and eating chips.
It was a lot of it was a lot of really, like when we've criticized MJF for low hanging fruit.
Yes.
This was like the lowest. This was like the cheapest form of like.
So here's the thing that I get from, in one sense I understand, but in another sense it's so far removed from the actual incident that I don't see how it really matters. And that's them targeting AJ, the shoulder that AJ hurt at the Royal Rumble 2020. He separated his shoulder at a spot with Edge. That happened 2 years ago. That injury, you would think after 2 years, is healed. It shouldn't be a weakness on AJ at this point. You would think.
Yeah.
They haven't followed through with that through line at all since that injury that I can recall. Mm-hmm. And yet that's like where Edge is targeting him. In one sense, I get it. In another sense, it seems so far removed from that particular incident that I don't really feel like, why should that matter? He's healed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if he had not referenced that, they said, I'm working his arm because I don't think he could hit the phenomenal forearm because of it. Okay, that makes sense to me.
Right.
You can't springboard with one arm. Get that.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just talking crap. And then at the end, because Priest was facing Finn, says Finn's guilt has been determined. Your punishment, Judgment Day, has arrived. So I guess that's their group's name now, is Judgment Day.
That's been reported. Yeah, the Judgment Day is the name.
So they took that poster with Edge on it, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a good pay-per-view name, Judgment Day. I mean, it's a good name for a crew, But yeah, you gotta rethink these promos, man. You really do. Undertaker was never like, "Oh, you love the Sacramento Kings. You guys are trash." When he was like in the Ministry, maybe as Big Evil, but not when he was the darkness, the Lord of Darkness guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, you love your cheeseburgers and your chips. Yeah, I like cheeseburgers. What's wrong with that? They're amazing. Have you had a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
They're great.
I mean, I really like cheese, but hamburgers are delicious. Chips are amazing.
Same philosophy, Anyways, after that, talk about cheeseburger. Veer Mahan made cheeseburger out of Sam Smothers here.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Smothers joke in there. Damn it. Anyways, Veer wins, of course, with the cervical clutch. They got a name. Do they have a name for that thing?
Yes, cervical clutch, because your cervical
like
spine.
a Veer Mahan.
No.
A Veer Mahan.
No, it's called a cervical clutch.
Name.
That's what they call it, because it affects your cervical spine right here.
Yeah, I can't come up with.
Yeah, I'm not feeling witty right now. That pop up spine buster that Veer did on poor Sam Smothers looked rough. Bent him over the announce table.
Oh, ow. Yeah, ow. That was rough. And he put that clutch on again.
Yeah,
go get him, Veer.
Three times with the clutch.
There's so much pent up aggression for not being allowed to come for God, how long was it? 5 months?
Several months.
A long time, man.
After that, we had a Bobby Lashley interview. He says he's pretty confident in his ability to win this arm wrestling match because he knows he's stronger than Amos, but it goes further than that. It said, but if it goes further than that being if there's physicality afterwards or during, because he's warming up backstage.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I don't trust Amos. I damn sure don't trust that backstabbing snake MVP. And so the arm wrestling match was next, rather just jumping right into arm wrestling match. We had an MVP promo, which more or less, where he more or less said the same thing he did last week or 2 weeks ago, which is Lashley doesn't need him. He didn't share his spotlight with MVP at WrestleMania. His ego's got in the way. Without me, there would be no almighty MVP. That was pretty.
You got that right. Yeah. So Lashley comes to the ring, and we have our arm wrestling match. So, of course, a little bit of the old back and forth here. Amos is close to victory. MVP talks some shit. Lashley turns the tables, and he gets the arm wrestling win over Amos. So MVP sort of acts like he's going to hit Lashley from behind with his cane. So Lashley's like, whoa, hey, buddy. And then Amos, of course, lays out Lashley, rams him into the arm wrestling table, takes lays him out with a clothesline, and MVP's like, okay, now crush. And so Amos picks up the arm wrestling table, and he rams it down onto Bobby Lashley's body a couple times. Wrecks him.
Yeah.
After that, we had some 24/7 action. So Oh yeah, so they got this thing earlier in the day. So it's going to be a match between Reggie and Dana Brooke versus Tamina and Akira Tozawa. But they show us what the setup was earlier in the day. Truth is trying to moderate because now he's certified for moderating couples counseling type stuff.
Yeah, what did you say it was?
Therapeutic keeping togetherness.
Yeah, therapeutic keeping togetherness.
Yeah, he says I've had a talk with Adam and Sonya as an exercise in teamwork. I've got them all. I've got all you guys in a mixed tag match in the 24/7 rules, or of course suspended for the duration of the match. Nobody's on good ground here. Everybody's sort of upset with each other.
Yeah.
And at one point during this match, it seemed like maybe some sparks at the wedding have been reignited between Tamina and Dana because Tamina does like a move where she has Dana Brooke down and they sort of lock eyes.
Yeah.
They're about to suck face, but no. Akira tags himself in. Tozawa is able to avoid Reggie's finish, hits a kick, tells Tamina that he loves her, and then he wins with a senton off the top. Man, it was so nice to see Akira Tozawa hit that and get that win.
I know. Such a great move. So after the victory, Akira leaps into Tamina's arms, and then Tamina then throws Dana to the mat. Tozawa covers her. Truth picks him up, throws him into Tamina, and then he's trying to help Dana escape. However, as Dana's about to go through the ropes, Truth rolls her up. And since he's still the ref, counts his own pinfall. However, Dana kicks out.
Yeah, it was pretty funny stuff.
And she leaves and yelling at Truth, "I trusted you."
Yeah. You know what? I like this stuff because it's just they're telling a story that progresses every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple. Like back during the year-long stretch where it was the same thing over and over again.
I know.
It's like, 24/7, I can tune out.
Exactly.
So after that, we get the return of Becky Lynch to Raw. She comes out. Number one, she looks amazing. Her sense of design, her sense of style is like something everybody should aspire to. It is so next level. It's really great.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing WWE, I don't know if it's Becky finding her people or what, but they really know how to style up people really, really well.
Yeah. I did appreciate that she took the Neville approach to losing the title and just be an absolute wreck.
And just stopping and staring at people in the crowd.
Great.
She just walks up to him and just sort of stares at him. Yeah, so she says, she gets on the mic, she says, it's been 3 years since she has walked out on Raw without the championship. 3 years that nobody could beat me for that title. And I haven't wanted to show my face on Raw because I don't know who I am without that title. She says, I've grown so accustomed looking in the mirror and seeing a champion that after Mania, I didn't recognize myself anymore. She says, I've hit rock bottom, and that's all I've got to say. She thinks about it. She's like, but, here's the thing. If I've hit rock bottom, that means there's nowhere else to go but up. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of the legendary Becky Lynch comeback. Nobody does a comeback better than me. She says, I can't stay down wallowing with the schlubs. She's like, I'm an arrow that's been pulled back so it can shoot into heights unknown.
And then
so
she did
fans,
a pew.
Yeah, she does a pew. So the fans get to witness and be inspired by my rise back to the title. My precious. She says, when I overcome Bianca Belair, I'll be the champ again, and nobody's going to be able to beat her. Nobody's going to be able to stop me. And she starts listing off names, but one name she doesn't list off is Asuka. Her music hits. Becky drops the mic, is freaked out like she's seen a ghost. So Asuka hits the ring. She's dancing around, singing to her theme song, which I love when she does that.
Yeah.
He says, Becky, I'm going to stop you because nobody's ready for Asuka. Becky steps up to her. Asuka flicks her pretty violently on the nose. That thing was flush.
Yeah.
Becky's like, what the fuck? Takes a swing. Asuka ducks. Looks for a back fist, but Becky runs out of the ring before it connects.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a good segment, man.
Yeah, it was. It was good. Next, we had a Street Profits promo. Pretty much kind of recapping what happened the show prior. Talking about the main event where RK Bros team up with Cody and Ezekiel to take on the Usos, Seth, and Kevin Owens. Ford asked Dawkins who you got in that match. Angelo says, I got Zeke. And then Ford says, no matter who wins tonight or at Backlash, we've got next. And then we got Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. And as we talked about at the beginning, that Edge throne thing.
the elements are there for a decent entrance. Like I like the song is fine. Like
the song's fine.
It doesn't it kick off. It starts with Edge's song, and then I think it goes into Priest's new song. Is that what happens?
I think it did here because Priest had the match.
That's what I'm talking about with Priest. Yeah, when it's him. I kind of like the idea they do this with Sheamus too. How like if you have a faction, head guy in the faction, you have his theme, and then it goes into your individual theme if it's a different person.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's not. Although with Sheamus, I believe both Ridge and Butch have Sheamus's theme as their theme.
They don't have their own. They don't
have their own themes. They have
Ideally, they'll get their own.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens at some point. I like the Tron, which is kind of like the Priest. I guess Demon Wing and Angel Wing thing going on.
It's cool. Yeah, I like it.
The wings are flapping and stuff, and like it's got the purple in it. It looks cool and all, but like as you said, there's ingredients here where it could work. It just doesn't work.
Right. No, the way they do it doesn't work. The Rose Parade thing is stupid. It's terrible.
It is
because they're just sitting there.
I know, and somebody's yanking on a couple ropes to pull him down the ramp. If they don't have some sort of levitating platform for him to make his way down the ring, I am not interested.
Man, you know what? Just put just have the throne there. Something maybe like in front of it, covering it, and then please go ahead.
You get the throne on some casters, like my office chair, and you just have Edge with his own feet push his way down the ramp while sitting on his throne.
I texted you this last night. This would be amazing if we got some vignettes of them grocery shopping with the moving throne.
Yes.
You know,
mundane tasks while enthroned, and he's got his own personal purple light over him.
No, not that. The Wonder Bread, the white bread. No, God, you missed it. We have to go all the way around
because
it doesn't back up.
No, you have to go all the way around. No,
it's no. They can only go forward.
Only forward. So decent enough match, if a bit short. In the end, Damian Priest got to win, not with Reckoning because that's Crossroads. Cody gets to use that. Priest hit just kind of like an elevated flatliner to get the win. I kind of wish. I don't know. Like, why can't two people have the same finisher? It's not that huge of a deal.
Hey, with Finn Balor, this was a killer chokeslam, though.
That was.
I mean, I agree with you. Your point is absolutely correct. This is a good looking chokeslam.
It was. Oh, the flatliner thing he did.
Yeah.
I think I'm just so used to seeing flatliner as not a finish.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, he honestly should have the choke slam he did to Finn before that. That should be
awesome.
His finish.
Yeah, the South of Heaven choke slam.
South of Heaven. Yeah,
just power that up.
Just use your signature as your finish, and you're good.
It's a great looking choke slam.
What's Baron's the deep six?
Yeah,
that should be a finish for somebody. That's a good looking move too. Baron has two amazingly. He's got a signature and a finish that both look good.
I know.
Anyways,
next is Miz TV. We're not getting to it. It's just Miz putting over Austin Theory. Austin Theory is like, yeah, Miz, you're cool, putting them over. Eventually, they're interrupted by Mustafa Ali, which is great to have Ali back. Super happy.
It's awesome to have him back. Yeah, and they even reference. They say, number one, he gets a welcome back chant. It was a decent crowd last night. They did a lot of noise piping.
Yeah, they did.
So sometimes I couldn't tell. You look at people and it looks like they're doing nothing, but then sometimes it sounds organic. I don't know what they're doing. It's all very confusing.
Yeah, it is.
So anyways, Ali comes back, gets a big old welcome back chant. He's about to talk. Miz goes, nope, covers his mic. He says, I didn't know you still worked here. Ali removes the dude's hand. He says, and the Theory puts it back. He says, aren't you the guy that took your ball and went home? It's kind of interesting they reference that. Mm-hmm. Ali asks why the Miz is out here cracking jokes. He says, if you want to laugh, all you got to do is watch Miz wrestle. He says, look, I'm back on Raw. And I was back there talking to Pierce, discussing some matters. He says, when I heard the new United States champion was going to be a guest on Miz TV, I had to come out hoping that Theory was going to announce a good old-fashioned U.S. title open challenge. I feel like they reference the open challenge far more than actually do open challenges for the U.S.
That's
title.
One thing that Miz was talking about, and they didn't mention it directly, but he said to Theory, you're champion now. If people want to have an opportunity against you, they have to earn it. And the implication is no more open challenge.
Yeah, but like, who's the last person to actually do the? Did Priest do open challenges?
Priest did it, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, there you go. That was recent. So Theory says, of course, he's a bad guy, so he's not going to do that shit.
Yeah.
He says, I'll think about it. No. So Ali challenges him to a U.S. title match, and he's like, okay, I'll think about it. No. Ali says, yeah, I'm not surprised. He says, you're supposed to be Mr. McMahon's protege.
Mr. McMahon, he does the strut too. He says, it's pretty great.
God damn it, pal. He says, you have no spine. He says, you're all biceps and no balls. What are you scared of? You're out here running away from a fight, running away like your name is The Miz. And then Theory asks Ali, he says, you know who you're talking to. He says, Miz is a former champion, a trailblazer, a future first ballot Hall of Famer. He says, this man doesn't run away from a fight. Miz is like, oh, no. I know what you're trying to do. Use my name to get some notoriety. He says, but there's nothing more I'd rather do than embarrass you right here, right now. But I think you forgot how it works around here. He says, I can't just make a match. And Theory's like, hey, don't worry, man. I just texted Vince, and you totally have a match right now against Ali. And Miz is like, wait, you did what? And he's like, yeah, no, it's done. That's what you wanted, right? And he's like, okay, fine. Thanks, man. And he says, after I'm done with you, Ali, I'm going to make you wish you got your walking papers. And then Ali slaps Miz.
And then he walks out of the ring, even though the match is after the commercial break.
Right, yeah. And then we get that match, and Ali gets the win here.
He does. It was great. Great.
With backwoods.
Yeah, with backwoods. Any roll-up now is backwoods.
you got to get it through your head, man. Now the roll-up is backwards.
Backwards. So
we're all paying homage to Xavier Woods, which is how it should be.
Exactly. That's a good point. So Ali gets the win with backwoods. He walks up the stage. Ciampa lays him out. And then we go backstage. Rhea Ripley has an interview. She's asked, why did you do what you did to Liv Morgan turn on her? Rhea says, I finally opened my eyes when I first came here, but I became Raw Women's Champ on my own. Since then, I've been tossed in the tag division, surrounded by partners who do nothing but bring me down to their level and make me weak. So I'm done. Done associating myself with disappointments. And then she's attacked by Liv. They brawl. Producers and refs come in to break it up.
I hope this means she's out of the tag division because she referenced not wanting to be in the tag division.
You'd think that would be, indication that she's out of tag division.
I like that they have that as her motivation because you would think that means she's going to be out of the tag division.
You think so? I mean, you'd think the whole plan for Rhea now is to build her up to challenge Bianca.
Right. Yeah. Put that title back on Rhea, man. It's not going to happen, but that'd be rad, you know? But it's okay to take the title off Bianca if you're only going to do it for a little bit. Anyways, I'm not going to eat any almonds right now. It takes forever to get them out of my teeth. They're just sitting right here, though.
Put them on your desk or something so you don't see them.
I can exercise some self-control, man. After that, we had Kevin Owens in the Alpha Academy backstage. Kevin Owens says, I'm not going to pay you, Gable, for the lie detector thing. He says, until I get the full and proper result of the lie detector test. Gable says, look, man, don't question my intellect. Seth steps in. Gable tells him to shoosh. This is an A plus and B conversation. Get out of here. Owens is offended. Gable called him a B. Tells Alpha Academy to leave, so they do. So then Kevin Owens and Seth have it out a little bit. He's like, what do you want to do? And Seth's like, we got a match. We need a game plan. And Kevin Owens like, did you think I forgot about last week? I was out there fighting my heart for you, and then you insult me. He says, maybe I should put you through a lie detector test because you've been a better friend. Because I've been a better friend to you than you have to me. Seth says, friendship's not a competition. Kevin Owens says, well, if it was, I'd win. And the Usos step in, says, you guys need to fall in line. We got to get this W tonight, and we're here to make sure you guys don't lose this match for us. We better be on the same page. Otherwise, we're going to get on the Tribal Chief's bad side. You don't want that. Seth just laughs at, the Tribal Chief's bad side. So he puts his arm around Kevin Owens. Owens takes it off, walks away, says, fine, I'll do it on my own then. This is all very entertaining stuff.
It is because they're all good characters. That's why. They got all got good chemistry. So then we got an MVP interview. He asked, I believe Kevin was doing the interview, if Lashley looked like a winner out there. He said this arm wrestling challenge wasn't about brawn, it was about brains. And without me, Lashley wasn't able to see that. Lashley isn't the almighty without me. And this is the preview of things to come because Amos has challenged Lashley to a match at Backlash. And then Amos says, after I'm done with Lashley, there isn't going to be much left of the almighty.
Yup. And then we had our, after 3 hours, main event, 2.5 hours, which was wildly fun because it was a spotlight. It was a lot of Riddle getting beat up, and there was some cool shout-outs to Legacy, to Cody and Randy. And then, of course, Randy Orton just went on a spree at the end, just RKOing anything that moved.
He basically single-handedly won this match.
He did, and the crowd was eating it up. It was a lot of fun, and yeah. So I don't know what beats you want to hit here. It's just,
you got it. Randy RKO's everybody, hits one on Jay as he leaps off the top rope to get the win in the match.
Yeah. The little bits with Cody and Randy were really good. Cody does the what is it? The springboard kick.
Oh, the disaster kick.
The disaster kick. Thank you. Yeah, right into an RKO, which was really good. Yeah, on Seth.
And that pop up RKO that Riddle and Randy did.
Was that was fun. That was really cool. Yeah, that was good stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions. I have a thread right here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. We're doing our bonus episode for patrons today, live at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Quick shout out to AJ Eberwine, June, Julian, First Last King Patty, and Christian. All new patrons.
Thank you so much.
At the Patreon. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these here. We've got first up, Alex Foster says, if Ali is staying a babyface, do you think there could be an added level of intrigue if they gave him a babyface faction as perhaps redemption for Retribution? I really don't ever want them to reference Retribution at all.
I mean, the WWE, Vince doesn't really seem to be that interested in factions. I know we just have one now with Edge. It's not really going that well.
Off to a bad start.
So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Nikyle says, so if Edge and Damien's new faction is Judgment Day, which 2 to 3 wrestlers would you have be in the following factions? Well, I'm not going to do that because that's a lot. But let's start here. He gives us 3 ideas for names of other factions.
All right.
Unforgiven, Armageddon, or Velocity. Which of those do you like for faction names?
Unforgiven.
Best? Unforgiven. It's totally Unforgiven. Maybe it's former bad guys who are trying to redeem themselves.
Yeah, you take what Kevin Owens is trying to do and make that a faction. Yeah.
Totally although I do like the idea of Velocity. You put Warp Speed, Light Speed in there.
Yeah.
A couple other fast people.
Yeah. Not a terrible idea.
Tozawa, maybe.
Mayor Planet Houston, for it being Edge's Mountain of Omnipotence, that room looked kind of empty and boring. How do you decorate the room so it looks more interesting and cool? You get a set that looks like a mountain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you
take it literally.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
And you have them stand on top of that, do the promos, and there's a bunch of snow blowing in, some wind effects.
Priest is there.
Maybe you get a Yeti. They'll climb up the mountain, and then Edge could put him in the deal. Say, get out of here, Yeti. This is my mountain, not yours.
Oh, like an abominable snowman?
Yeah, Yeti, yeah.
That's good. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe, I was thinking actual Yeti, but maybe you can get Yeti from WCW.
Well, it was a mummy.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't make a lot of sense.
Didn't make a whole lot of sense.
I think you put a like a mural of a mountain behind them, but then they're on the mural as well. So they're standing in front of the depiction of the mountain of impotence or whatever it's called.
Omnipotence.
Yeah, that's good. A couple of limp dicks up there on the mountain. It's cold out here. It's hard to get it working. Their new faction's called Shrinkage.
There you go.
Blake Whitehouse says, what's keeping Orton out of the conversation for great? And these blue edge, blue chew. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Now it's starting to tie in. Yeah,
it's easy. Blake says, what's keeping Orton out of the conversation for greatest of all time? I'd say consistency. Like when you have ebbs and flows of him being bored, like years of him being bored.
Yeah,
that's gonna do. Yeah,
like he's done a lot of. There's that. He's done a lot of great work. A lot of really good work, and you can make the point that his run now with Riddle is the best work he's ever done. You could probably make that point. And to be fair, I didn't watch a lot of Orton's early stuff from like 2003 to 2011, so basically half his career, I wasn't really watching a lot of wrestling.
He did, when he was kicking old people, it was awesome. The legend killing stuff was great. It really was.
I mean, he's a wrestler that he was one of the top guys. I don't know if he was ever the guy.
He doesn't have that thing. I mean, maybe you can point to the RKO itself as the thing. Mm-hmm. But like everybody else had that next level of whatever, that just took them to that next level. Randy Orton he was like sort of like a 7 look, he just looked like generic mid-aughts wrestler. Cena had a very unique look. Brock has a very unique look. We're just looking to those other guys. Batista had a very unique look, even though he was dressed up like generic mid-aughts wrestler. He had a very unique look. Orton didn't really have that. And sometimes you need that extra thing to be like, oh, that. But so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I still think it's like a consistency in what he did,
Yeah. I mean, as he puts it, it sounds like he's still got a lot of career left, so things could change, if he starts winning more world titles. Mm-hmm. If you want to try to make the case that he's top 25 ever, I think there's a case to be made because of his longevity. And yeah, it's weird. His career has been, in some sense, incredibly consistent in terms of how he approaches things in ring from a purely wrestling standpoint, Yeah. Like, that aspect of his career has been very consistent. It's the motivation that has been inconsistent.
Yeah, it's I don't know, like for being champion so many times. I don't know.
No, I
understand. There's that
I
extra thing missing,
Yeah.
But no, what you're saying is right. Yeah, as a wrestler in the ring, he has been incredibly consistent. But I'm talking about like a consistent elite level of being motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of being compelling. Who said this here? Somebody said something here. No, I was thinking about this. I love that you say specifically top 25, because doesn't that mean he's between number 25? I'm sorry, between number 21 and 25? Because otherwise, wouldn't you say top 20?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why I thought about that. Rob Conway guy wants to know.
But hey, in the history of pro wrestling, a top 25 career is pretty damn great.
Being between 21 and 25,
yeah, it's pretty darn good, huh?
Is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob Conway, guy, says, in honor of Cody Rhodes' tattoo powering their team to a win, what superstar logo would you get a Cody-sized tattoo on your neck?
0. None. I would never get a neck tattoo of anything.
I'd be really hesitant to get a neck tattoo, largely because I have this fucking double chin right here. And so it'd just be like this nebulous thing right here. So I'd no, unless I lost like a ton of weight. And then at that, I still wouldn't.
Never happened.
Neck tattoos a lot. I'm 43 or 40. I'm 43. I'm 44.
That sounds right.
5 months. It's too late. It's too late. I might get some more on my arm, but even then it's like, oh, look at this old guy getting more tattoos. What midlife crisis? He can't buy Twitter, so he's going to get some tattoos.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my midlife crisis.
Ross Cody asks, which person joining WCW was most detrimental to the company and most responsible for its downfall? Hogan, Vince Russo, Jeff Jarrett, or someone else? Like, if they hadn't joined the company, it might still be around.
Joining WCW would not be Hulk Hogan. If anybody of those names, it'd be Vince Russo.
Yeah,
it'd be Vince Russo. I think
if not for
people
Vince
in the know,
Russo, then
case.
Jeff Jarrett would not have been pushed as a main eventer probably. Even
beyond that, like the Guy Evans Nitro book kind of makes the case that Russo really fucking tanked creative. So yeah, I would probably say Russo was most detrimental. I mean, you could argue that Hogan helped, with the NWO. That story of him going bad guy actually helped the company achieve pretty massive heights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Liquid Blake says, what'd you guys think of that roll-up finish by Ali? He says, although it's just another roll-up finish, I liked how unique it was, and it was a cool counter to the figure four. It was practical.
Yeah.
The backwoods use was practical.
Yeah.
In countering the figure four. So I agree with that. I think it was a good move.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's certainly better than him showing up and losing to Miz, that's for sure.
Don Wagner, do you think Vince will ever forgive Lex Luger for the Nitro incident or hold the grudge forever and not induct him into the Hall of Fame? I'm guessing him showing up on Nitro has basically nothing to do with him, whether he goes to the Hall of Fame or not.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think Vince just doesn't see him as a Hall of Famer, which is a shame because he's the total package.
He is total package. Part of that, you'd think, would be Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Let's see here. Matt from Assemble says Raw feels like it's had a major turnaround creatively since Mania. Do you see that continuing, or do you think it'll become its shore and then it swings back to SmackDown? Yeah, there's always, whether it's 6 months, a year, what have you.
It'll happen.
It'll swing back.
It will.
Raw will probably continue to get better, and then it'll get worse. And all of a sudden it'll be like, oh my God, SmackDown was really good and Raw was really unwatchable.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be going live for some more Steve Thunder My Rise in 2K22 over at twitch.tv/MF Steve here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.